So dear students, from last three sessions we are trying to understand the basic fundamentals of blockchain technology. So far we have studied what is blockchain technology. Blockchain is a hash technology where the blocks are linked through the hash values. Blockchains are chain of hash linked blocks, and these blocks contain data, hash value and hash of the previous link. And whenever the participant or node will initiate a transaction, the block is created. Block will contain hash, data and link of the previous block, and this transaction needs to be validated by the participants or nodes in the blockchain technology. And when the transaction is validated, then block is inserted at the end of the blockchain. So this we have studied, and for validating the transaction, the participants or nodes will get incentives, and because of incentives the participants or nodes will validate the transaction. So in this session we are mainly focusing on the type of network, because the blockchains are connected by, our blocks in a blockchain are connected through the peer-to-peer network. So we have to understand these networks are decentralized, these networks are distributed. So we have to understand the concept of distributed networks, decentralized networks and peer-to-peer networks. So in this session we will start from the definition of the blockchain technology. So in today's session we will try to learn the blockchain definition. There are several definitions of blockchain, because blockchain consists of different technologies, different networks, then other technique, algorithms, encryption algorithms and different types of protocols that contribute to the blockchain technology synchronization mechanisms. So there are different definitions for blockchain. So we will see the popular definition of the blockchain technology in this session. Then in this session is mainly focused on type of network system, because this blockchains, the participants or nodes are connected in a blockchain in a peer-to-peer manner. These nodes are distributed. So what is decentralized network, what is peer-to-peer network, what is distributed system, that we have to understand in this lecture. And at the end of the lecture we will try to learn what is a block in blockchain, and then we will summarize the session. So we will start with the type of networks. So first we will look into the definition of blockchain technology. So you can see the definition of blockchain technology. A blockchain technology is a decentralized computation, and information sharing platform that enables multiple authoritative domains who do not trust each other to cooperate, coordinate and collaborate in a rational decision making process. So if you see the definition of blockchain technology, there are several keywords in this blockchain definition. The first keyword is decentralized system, then computation and information sharing platform. So in this blockchain technology, the information is shared among the nodes, among the participants, and the blockchain provides the infrastructure for sharing the information in secure manner, and that enables this information sharing platform enables multiple authoritative domains who do not trust each other. So we have studied in the previous session also. In second session, in blockchains, the parties that do not trust each other that will participate in the blockchain, and the blockchain, when the transaction is initiated, then that transaction needs to be validated. If the participants, if the nodes will agree with the transaction, then transaction is committed to the blockchain. Whenever some attacker tries to tamper the block, the hash of the block will change, block will become invalid, and that blockchain will become invalid. So this is the security mechanism of blockchain. And one more mechanism blockchain uses for security, that is proof of work. So in coming lectures we have to see what is this proof of work. Then you can see the other keywords in the definition. The participants in the blockchain cooperate, coordinate and collaborate in a rational decision making process. So these participants, these nodes cooperate with each other, they coordinate with each other, they collaborate in a rational decision making process to validate the transaction. So we can see, we will again see the definition of this blockchain technology. You also try to read this definition. Blockchain is a decentralized computation and information platform that enables multiple authoritative domains who do not trust each other to cooperate, coordinate and collaborate in a rational decision making process. So in this blockchain definition, there are several keywords: decentralized, then it is a computation and information sharing platform. There in this on this platform various type of informations are shared. Bitcoin is one of the example. The Bitcoin transactions are shared. Bitcoin transactions will happen in the blockchain. Documents can be shared. There are different information, healthcare information can be shared on this blockchain platform, and these parties do not trust each other, but these parties, when these parties will agree, these parties or participants will agree on the transaction, and then that transaction is finalized in the blockchain technology. So this is the definition of this blockchain technology. So next, the main focus of this session is to understand the type of networks. So in blockchain technology, we listen the terms again and again: distributed, decentralized and peer-to-peer. So these terms, distributed, decentralized, are often used when talking about the blockchains, and these terms are often confused, and we have to understand the difference between these terms. What is distributed, what is decentralized network, and what is peer-to-peer network. So centralization and decentralization refers to the level of the control, how the system is controlled. So there are three types of systems: centralized network, or we can say centralized system, then decentralized system, then next type of system is a distributed system, and then peer-to-peer networks. Peer-to-peer networks are decentralized networks, and these networks can be decentralized system or they may be distributed system. So centralization and decentralization refers to the level of control, how the system is controlled, depending on it will be categorized as centralized system or decentralized system. In a centralized system, control is executed by just one entity, and in a decentralized system there is no single controlling entity. Instead the control is shared among the several independent participants. So there is a main difference between centralized system and decentralized system is about the control. In centralized system there is a single entity that has the control, and in decentralized entity there is no single entity that will control the system. Every participant, every node in the system has the power, and the information is shared among the participants. So distribution refers to a there is a difference in location also. In a non-distributed system all the parts of the system are in the same physical location, and in a distributed system parts of the system exist in separate location. The nodes are located at different locations, and these nodes are connected through the network, and these nodes are powerful. They can act as a server and they can act as a client also in a decentralized network or distributed network. So we will try to understand the differences between these lectures in next slides. So first type of network is centralized systems, or you can say centralized network. So centralized systems are systems that use client server architecture, where one or more client nodes are directly connected to a central server. So this architecture follows a client server architecture, and nodes are connected directly to a central network. This is the most commonly used type of system in many organizations, where client sends a request to a company server, and server will respond to the client. So we know about this architecture. You can see the figure. There is a one master. Master is nothing but a server, and there are several nodes. Nodes are computers. Nodes often we refer to the computers, or participants in blockchain also is nothing but a computer. So there are several characteristics of centralized system. In centralized system there is a presence of clock. So in centralized system the entire system consists of central nodes and many clients that are connected to the server, and client nodes synchronize to the global clock. The central server maintains the clock, and there is no clock synchronization problem in the centralized system. Then next feature of the centralized system is there is a one single central unit that controls overall operations, and there are dependent failure of components in the centralized system. So in centralized system, if central system fails, then entire system will fail. So this is the problem with the centralized system. So what are the components of centralized system? Centralized system consists of nodes and that connect to the server, and then it has server, and to connect the nodes, clients and server, and there are communication links. The links are cables or wireless network. Through the wireless network, these nodes or clients can connect to the server. So centralized system has client server architecture. The central node, the server that serves the other nodes in the system is the server node, and all the other nodes are client nodes. So this is the architecture of centralized system. And then what are the limitations and advantages of centralized system? The limitations of centralized systems that we cannot scale up centralized system vertically after a certain limit. Though we increase the capacity of centralized system, then also in this centralized system we will not get more benefit. There are several hurdles in the, because all the traffic will come to the centralized system, and the performance of the system also depends on the network speed and other things. Then bottleneck can appear when the traffic spikes. When the traffic will spike, then centralized system may fail. Then this system is highly dependent on network connectivity. If the network is not available, then client cannot connect to the central system, and less possibility of data backups, because all the backup is with the central server, and if that server fails, then we will face the problem in the centralized system. The advantages are centralized system is easy to physically secure. It is easy to secure the system, and then it is more cost efficient for small systems up to a certain limit, because there is only one server and clients connect to the system. So this system is cost effective. Quick updates are possible, because we have to update only the server, and there is no need to update the nodes in the centralized system. Then it is easy to detach a node. We can easily detach the node from the centralized system. So these are the disadvantages of the centralized system. But in blockchain technology, every participant has the copy of the ledger. Each participant has their own copy. All the copies are updated, and each node has the copy. So this architecture is not suitable for the blockchain technology. In decentralized system, the nodes can become client, and nodes can become also a server. So this is the advantage of decentralized system. So we will study what is decentralized system. In decentralized system, every node makes its own decision. Every node has the capacity to make its own decision, and the final behavior of the system is the aggregate of the decisions of the individual nodes. And there is one single entity. There is no single entity that receives and responds to the request. So in like a centralized system, there is no single entity in the decentralized system that will control overall operation of the decentralized system. In decentralized system, the nodes can become the server, nodes can become the client. They are powerful, they are capable of making their own decisions. So you can see the architecture of system. There are two masters in this node, and other nodes are connected to the master. But any node can become master, any node can become server. There are different mechanisms how these nodes will become the server, how the nodes will become coordinator in the system. There is a voting system, and there are other mechanisms that using that mechanisms the node can take the control of the system in decentralized system. So what are the characteristics of decentralized system? In decentralized system, every node is independent of each other, and there is a lack of global clock in the decentralized system. So there is need of synchronizing the clock in decentralized system, because different nodes work in different time zones, and there is no global clock system like a centralized system. So we need more efforts to synchronize the clocks in the decentralized system. There are multiple control units in the system. There are multiple servers. Nodes can become server, and nodes can become also client. More than one central unit which can listen for connection from the other nodes. So in TCP/IP protocol, we know that when the server wants to communicate with the client, they can create a port, and the one more port, and through the port the clients can communicate with the server. But in this decentralized system, every node has the capacity to become the server, and also they can become the client. So there is a dependent failure of components in the decentralized system. One central node failure causes a part of the system to fail, and if one system fails in the centralized system, the entire system will not fail. Component can be detached from the decentralized system. So we will see the architecture of decentralized system. It has peer-to-peer architecture. All nodes are peer of each other. No one node has supremacy over entire network. There is no one master. Every node has the capacity to become master, or every node has the capacity to become the server in decentralized system. So it has master slave architecture. One node can become a master by voting and help in coordinating two other nodes in the system. But this if that node become master, that it doesn't mean that that node has all the power in the decentralized system. So this is the peer-to-peer architecture network. In this network decentralized system, every node can become server, and every node can become client, and every node can if node wants to become a client, then there is a voting, and if that node wins, then he can become the master in the decentralized system. So examples of decentralized system are blockchain, Bitcoin, decentralized databases. Then what are the limitations and disadvantages of decentralized system? Limitations are so in decentralized system there is a problem of coordination at the enterprise level, because every node can become a server, and every node can become a client, and every node is owner of its own behavior, and it's difficult to achieve a collective task. If they want to achieve some common goal, then there is a problem of coordination in the decentralized system. This system is not suitable for a small system. It is not beneficial to build and operate small decentralized system because of its cost and benefit ratio, and there is no way to regulate a node on the system, because every node has power. It can become server, it can become client also, and no supreme node. There is no supreme node that will control the operation of the decentralized system. So there is a problem of coordination. Small systems cannot use this decentralized system, and there is no regulatory node in the decentralized system. And then what are the disadvantages of this already? So already we have studied the disadvantages. There is no regularity oversight, difficult to know which node has failed, and difficult to know which node responded. So sometimes the identity is hidden, and it is difficult to know which node has responded in the decentralized system. So these are the disadvantages. But this centralized system, every node has its own copy of the data, and it is not dependent on the any central authority. So these are the advantages and disadvantages, benefits in the blockchain technology. So what is distributed system? A distributed system is similar to a decentralized one in that it does not have single central control. but going a step further, it eliminates the centralization. So in distributed system, users have equal access to data. Every user has the equal access to the data, and through the user privileges can be enabled when needed. The best example of the distributed system is the internet itself. It is the only distributed system that allocate resources and rights across the whole network. So it allows to share the resources, and it gives the rights to the nodes also, and these nodes, all these nodes work to achieve the common goal. So this type of networks are very useful for blockchain technology. In blockchain technology, there is a common shared ledger, and the aim of all the participants is to that the ledger should remain consistent all the time. So this architecture is useful. What are the characteristics of distributed system? Concurrency of components, nodes apply consensus protocols to agree on same value or transactions. So this is the property of blockchain technology. Also in blockchain technology, nodes has to agree on some consensus, and if the nodes agree, then that transactions will happen, because all these nodes in the distributed system are working to achieve the common goal. In distributed system, the work can be partitioned, work can be divided, and that work can be allocated to different nodes, and these different nodes can work to complete that task, and when the all the nodes will finish, that data may be collected at one place, and that may be combined. So in this way we can this all nodes can work to achieve some common task, some common goal in the distributed system. So in like this distributed system, there is a lack of global clock. All nodes maintain their own clock, and clock synchronization is the problem in the distributed system. And then there is independent failure of the components in a distributed system. If nodes fail, then it will not affect the entire system. Even though if the node is failed, that will be not noticed. It will be not noticed by the distributed system that the node has failed. System will not come to know that the node has failed. So architecture of the distributed system, it has peer-to-peer architecture similar to the decentralized system. All nodes are peer to each other and work towards a common goal. Client server, it can follow the client server also. Some nodes can become a servers, and they can coordinate with the other nodes. It has entire architecture. Different parts of an applications are distributed in different nodes of the system, and these nodes work together to achieve the common goal. So these are the characteristics of the distributed system. So what are the advantages and limitations of distributed system? Distributed system is a fault tolerant system. It is transparent. It is more secure. It promotes resource sharing. Resources are shared in distributed system. The system is extremely scalable. We can add the nodes easily in the distributed system. Then limitations are this system is more difficult to deploy. It has higher maintenance cost. Then what is peer-to-peer network? Peer-to-peer network may be a decentralized system, may be a distributed system. It is a technology that enables two or more peers to collaborate spontaneously in a network of equal peers by using appropriate information and communication systems without the necessary for central coordination. So these peers can work to achieve the common goal. There is no central coordination. This peers or nodes in this peer-to-peer network can become client, and they can become the servers. The main objective of the peer-to-peer network is resource sharing, or you can say file sharing or information sharing. These nodes in the peer-to-peer network share the information, they share the files, they can share the resources, and they can work to achieve the common goals. Every node may have their own copy of the file, own copy of the information, and these are the equal peers, and there is a decentralization. These peers may be located at different locations, and these nodes may be located at different locations, and they may work to achieve the common goal like a blockchain system. So what are the features of peer-to-peer network or system? In this peer-to-peer network, clients are also servers, and clients are also clients may be servers, clients, the node may be client, may be a server. It can act as a router. Nodes contribute the content, they contribute the memory, they can contribute the resources in the network. Nodes are autonomous, and there is no central control. The nodes are not controlled by any central authority. And network is a dynamic. Nodes in the network, the nodes enter and leave frequently. Nodes collaborate directly with each other. The nodes can collaborate with each other to achieve some common task. They can share the files, they can share these nodes can share the informations, and nodes have wide varying capability. Every node has different capacities, and these capacities of the nodes can be used to achieve the common goal in the peer-to-peer network. So features of peer-to-peer computing. Peer-to-peer computing is the sharing of computer resources and services by direct exchange between systems. There is no any coordinator between the system. These nodes can directly exchange the information, resources and services between them, and these resources and services include the exchange of information, processing cycles, cache, storage, disk storage, and files. So in blockchain technology, ledger is nothing but a file. Blockchain is nothing but a file where the blocks are added. File contains the blocks, and this blocks contain data hash and hash of the previous block. Whenever the transaction is committed, when the transaction is finalized, the block is inserted in the blockchain. So peer-to-peer computing takes the advantage of existing computing power, computing storage and networking connectivity, allowing the users to leverage their collective powers to benefit all. So this collective power benefits all. They can achieve common goal, and they can use their local resources to achieve the common goal in peer-to-peer network. So what are the benefits of peer-to-peer network? It uses the resources efficiently. Unused bandwidth can be utilized. Storage or processing power can be utilized. This system is scalable. Since every peer is alike, it is possible to add. We can add more number of peers nodes in the system and scale to the larger networks. It can consumers of resources also donate a resource. The nodes which will take the resources, they can also contribute the resources in the peer-to-peer networks. Aggregate resources grow naturally with utilization. This system is reliable. Replicas of the data, replicas of the file are available. Every node has its own copy of the data. Then geometric distribution, the nodes are distributed at different location, and there is no single point of failure. If one node fail, and then whole system will not fail, because the copy of that data file is available with the other node also. And it is easy to administrate these systems. Nodes nodes organize themselves, and no need to deploy servers to satisfy the demand on scalability. And it has built-in fault-tolerant system, replication of the data, and there is a mechanism for load balancing also in peer-to-peer network. So students, we will stop here. In this lecture we are mainly focus on the networks, type of networks, what is distributed system, centralized system, and decentralized system. So you are in this semester you are studying the subject distributed system. So in this distributed system subject you will learn about the this distributed system and other networks also. So today we will wind up this session. So in this week we focus on the blockchain basics, and from the next week by keeping in mind the syllabus of unit 1, we will take our sessions as per the syllabus. So thanks for watching this session. Goodbye.